All right, keep that arm swinging forwards then. Good stuff. So nice bit of warm up here to start with. Getting that temperature up, especially in these cold months. Excellent. Okay, let's change direction there. Okay, let's change sides and go forwards with this arm. So yeah, as I was saying a minute ago, we're going to do a bit of a warm-up, followed by a little bit of cardio with the pole, followed by some abdominal core work here. Let's change direction with this arm. So just over 10 minutes on each of those sections. So not far, about 40 minutes in total for the workouts. Yeah. With that yoga bit at the end especially. Okay, let's reach over, touch an opposite shoulder the best you can. Good, okay, let's take this arm, reaching up as high as you can, back down. Good, let's change arms there to the other side. Okay, let's take these arms and go out to the side of them here. Let's go back a little bit. I'm right at the bottom of the screen there. Good, let's do some rotations with our shoulders. So either direction, and then we're changing them in it anyway. So. Yeah, change direction there. Okay, let's give it a nice shake out. So we're going to do another one of those pyramid sets, but we're going to do the slightly adjusted one where we're going to do the less rest in between. I'm just going to get the clock up here so I can see what we're doing. And we're just going to do one round because we're doing one round of this and then we're combining it with the core workout as well. So let me just get this up on screen so I can see the time while we're doing this. So essentially it's pretty straightforward. We're going to have our poles. We're going to do 10 seconds of work and we're going to do 20 seconds of rest, then 20 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, and then 30 with 20, 40 with 20, 50 with 20, 60 with 20 seconds, and then we're going to go back down again, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So the amount of rest stays the same at 20 each time, but each time we do 10 more seconds of our exercises part. I'm going to show you as we're going through, and I'm actually just going to move my camera down slightly because you can see mostly the ceiling. So see me a bit more. Okay, we're going to go in about 30 seconds here. The first one we're going to do is, let's go for the slightly harder exercise, seeing as we're in gym one set. So we're going to go forwards and up. So with the pole, forwards and up for 10 seconds to start with, and then 20 seconds rest. Hello.
Can you remind people they can do it without a pole, or they could use a towel? You
can. So this is, I just use a pole for this because it's easier to hold and maneuver around. There's just somebody coming in. I'll remit them in. But you can use a towel or a band or nothing at all, just simulating the movements that we're doing. So say I didn't have anything, I could go just with nothing at all there. So not an issue whatsoever. Okay. I should move that mic out of the way so I can actually see the clock there. Okay, are we ready for 10 seconds then? Going 10 seconds time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Rest in there. So it's 20 seconds rest. And then we're going to go for 20 seconds next. Okay, another 5 seconds here with the rest. 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So 20 seconds work now. So like we talked about before, there's plenty of ways you can change this. I'll explain over the coming exercises and resting there. So 20 seconds rest now, and then going into 30 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. So yeah, last time we did it where we did 10 and 10, 20 and 20, 30 and 30, but we're just keeping that rest the same. Just it's a little bit of a harder one because you get that less rest. That's good. Okay, off we go. 30 seconds. Good stuff. 10 more seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting there. So 20 seconds rest. So another 10 to go here. And then we're on 40 seconds now. 2, 1, off we go. So yes, the multiple ways you can adapt this is if you want to increase the intensity, then you work out for longer or you work out for harder, or you reduce your rest, and then it's the vice versa of that if you wanted to make it easier. So you do less working, more rest, or less effort. So you just change those variables and adapt it to whatever level you might be or your range of ability. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. 20 rest, and then into 50. Good work so far, everybody. Ready, 2, 1, off we go. Good work, keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting there. 20 rest. So you see it's a little bit more difficult than last time. That shorter amount of rest means that we're not recovering quite as quickly. So it means our heart rate is staying up for longer. The longer we keep that heart rate up, or keep it up at that level, the harder the session is going to be, but the more calories you're going to burn, which is good. Anyway, 2, 1, off we go. 1 minute now. Good stuff. That's halfway through this minute. So if you're getting through these workouts and say it's a little bit too tough, you've got a couple of options. You can do less of it, so you can just stop earlier through the time. You can drop to an easier exercise in 3, 2, 1, rest in there. So for example, this exercise is a lot easier than this one, or you can just stop altogether as well. So there's always the option to just to stop. There's no shame in that whatsoever. We're all at different levels, different abilities. We're all in, going to be progressing. Ready, off we go. 50 seconds now. And the same with any exercise. We are different levels, different abilities. It's not a competition. The only person you are competing with is yourself. Doesn't matter about anybody else. Good stuff. Keep it going. Another 20 seconds. And 10 to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting there. 20 rest. And then to 40 seconds. So I'm feeling quite warm now. So this jumper's feeling very snug, which is good. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. And 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting there. 20 seconds rest again. And then into 30. So your heart rate should be where it is, holding it there throughout this whole session. 3, 2, 1. Off we go, 30 seconds. And much like, don't be ashamed of, going slower. Don't be ashamed of going faster as well. It's totally fine, totally acceptable if that's what you want to do. If you need to put that extra effort in, don't feel like you're showing off of that. Just go for it. 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. 20 rest, and then 20. 20 rest, and then 10. Great stuff. So the last little bit now, just to finish off. 4, 3, 2, 1. 20. 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds rest. And then the last 10 seconds, and we are done here for this part of the session. Sounds like I got a bird in my wheel. I've got a bit of a squeak. 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds. Make it a good one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's put these down. Grab your drinks if you've got a drink. We'll have a mini break before we go on to the cardio part of the session. I hope you enjoyed that so far. So, like we did on Wednesday, we did it where we had, the equal gap. The gap was equal to the amount of work we're doing. So we had 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. This is just a different, changing those variables. It makes a very different session. Makes it quite a bit harder. So yeah. And you can adjust those either way, up or down. Oh, that's good. All right, so if you grab your cushions or equivalent. And again, like on the previous set, if you don't have a cushion or something equivalent to a cushion, you can do it with just your hands. You can either grab one hand on top of the other. That's one way to do it. Looks like Bethany's got some sort of dodgeball there. Excellent. That David's got, is that a soccer ball? See, there we go. Excellent. Okay, so for this, we've done some of it before. I'm going to introduce a few different exercises here as well than we've done in the previous sessions, just to mix it up a bit, keep it fresh. With these as well, so hopefully you've sort of got the idea of how this works in previous sessions, but essentially what we're doing, we're throwing ourselves off balance, doing different movements. The different movements is just to keep it fresh and interesting. You get the same benefit just from doing one exercise. So if there is only one of these that you can do, that's totally fine to keep doing it. If the others are just too out of your range, whether it's your range of motion or your ability to do it, stick with just one that you can do. But essentially, we're just throwing ourselves off balance. So if there's any that you can think of as well, that's like your, interpretation or your variation, there's no problem whatsoever with doing it. As I always say, it's kind of just getting the concept here. We're trying to throw ourselves off balance, and that's what we're using the cushion for. Okay, got a lovely yellow and green one here today. Anyway, so we're going to do this in 30 seconds of doing the exercise, 30 seconds of rest, and then we're going to do that for a couple of rounds and different exercises for roughly about 12 minutes-ish. So we'll keep going that. So the first one is a bit of a different one today that we've done, and we're going to go round in a circle like that. Okay, we're going to go in 15 seconds, just so the time's right on here. Anyway, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, off we go. So go around in a circle. Excellent. So if you want to make this harder, you can come away from that backrest and not be supported on it. And that's going to increase that intensity. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. Good stuff. Next one we're going to do, we're going to do a familiar one, which is the figure of 8. So the first one there, when we're going like that, that's we're trying to stop falling forwards. When we're doing the figure of 8, it's more the twisting. We're trying to prevent. So it just works the core in slightly different ways. Anyway, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go like this. And again, if you want to make it harder, you can come away from the backrest. you can grab something that's heavier, or you can hold this further out in front of you. So if you did it with straight arms, oh, that's definitely a bit harder. So keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resting there. Next one we'll do is raising it up in front of us. So keep those arms as straight as you can while you do this. And your body wants to fall forwards, and you're going to stop it using those core muscles. Okay, another 10 seconds here. Do you see that, Liz? Someone's waiting in the waiting room. And 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Good stuff. Into the last 5 seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. Let's allow that person in. What was it? Oh, in? Oh. I think they came and went.
No, I let her in. She's
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Hello. I can't see it on the screen, so it's obviously
Kathy.
one person
Kathy.
over.
Kathy.
Okay, next one we're doing is going down, down, up, up. So it's 4 points. Ready? Off we go. So go down and then just do these 4 points. You can either do it in a square or do the bottom ones first and then the top ones, however you want to do it. And this is where that momentum is throwing you off balance. But you got to try and stay still. And resting there, good stuff. So there's our 4 exercises. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. Good work. Okay, so that's the first one, holding that cushion and going around in a circle. It's kind of like a cheesy disco dance move, that. All right, 2, 1, off we go. So again, the further you hold this away from you, the harder it is. And also coming off the back of that back rest increases the difficulty. And also if you had something heavier as well, that would increase the difficulty too. And the opposite of all of those is making it easier. 3, 2, 1, resting there. Good work. So again, yeah, if you can't do, if you're going to do 2 of the exercises, just repeat those 2. If you're going to do 1, just do that 1. Whatever you can do, or come up with one that you can do. Just have a play around. Maybe there's some stuff you can do, even if it's keeping it close to you. If you've got 0 core whatsoever, it's still working on that balance a little bit. Anyway, in 3, 2, 1, figure of 8s, off we go. Excellent. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. Okay, so the straight arm one again, going up above our head. The straighter you keep those arms, the harder it's going to be. In 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. And likewise on the previous set, if there's an, I said about, don't be ashamed if it's too easy. If there's an exercise here that for you is too easy, but there's one that is trickier, it's totally fine to skip out the easier one and just go on to the harder ones. 3, 2, 1, rest in there. We all have different function levels. So don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay, we're going to finish off with the point one again. And then that'll be 2 rounds with 1 more round to go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off we go. Four, 3, 2, 1, rest in there. Okay, so 1 more round with those 4 exercises, and then we'll move on to the last bit of today's session. Good work, everybody there. So I know I talk a lot and I repeat myself, but the idea is to help educate you guys as well at the same time. So hopefully you can take these sessions away and you can sort of craft your own, so you're not completely reliant on having to come at the same time. So it's like you can make those sessions. Ready, off we go. 4 stirring. Sorry, that time came around a lot quicker than I thought it was. If you need any extra help or guidance, or there wasn't something you quite understood or that, you can always reach out to me, either via Liz, you can always send me a message, or other means, resting there. You can come to my Instagram or Facebook profiles. They're all adapted to perform. So yeah, just seek out, send me a message if you want to. I'm always happy to answer any and all questions you have. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The figure of 8s again, off we go. Again, straighter the arms are, the harder it is. If you want to challenge yourself, get those arms straighter. Also as well, if you sort of swing it over to one side, it's hard to sort of catch it and pull it back, which is going to really work on those obliques there. 3, 2, 1, resting there. And it's amazing how much you use these core muscles when we're pushing our wheelchair, doing those fine little movements when we're like maybe going around cracks in the pavement and that. You might just do a little shuffle, rather than using the hands as such. You might just move it out of the way if you're a manual wheelchair user. And it's amazing those. And even if you're not a manual wheelchair user, reaching over to the side, grabbing stuff and pulling it onto you. That's the kind of motion we're doing there. So it's fantastic to do these. 2, 1, straight overhead. And you can probably see these movements and go like, oh yeah, you know what, I do that in my day-to-day. Maybe it's taking a bowl off the side and putting on your lap to go to the table to eat. Just makes those things easier. Four, 3, 2, 1. Rest in there. Okay, so last 30 seconds coming up, which is the pointed one. And 4, 3, 2, 1, off we go. feel like this one deceives me a little bit. It doesn't feel like it's hard, and then suddenly I'm like, oh god, this feels difficult. All right, 2, 1, resting there. Excellent work. You can pick your cushions or soccer ball or dodgeball or whatever you've got down now. And then grab yourself a drink as well again. And then we will move on to the last bit of the session where I'm just going to relax down, ease it off, do some mobility work. Good stuff. Excellent work, everyone. It looked like you're doing really well there. Obviously, I get to see you, on the screen, and I can definitely see an improvement. I can see arms being moved out more consistent throughout the time as well, both on the pole workouts and on the core workout. It's really great to see, even in such a short time, that you're making those improvements. And it's sort of those beginner, gains that we get in terms of, understanding how to do the exercise, performing it, and getting that a little bit fitter as well, and getting that mind-muscle connection, so we understand how to move our body. It's so beneficial to do exercise, not just for getting fit, but to have that connection between our brain and our body, because it means that we can move better day to day and less risk with stuff like injury, and able to do tasks. And it can help with stuff like independence, which is absolutely fantastic. So awesome job. It's great to see you guys improving already. And it's good as well because I can see you. Like you might not necessarily see the improvement, but I can see the improvement, which is good to see. Anyway, let's get started with a nice big bit of breathing here. So in your own time, nice big breath in, and then out again. And then just keep going in your own time, slowing it down on each breath, maybe getting up to sort of 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, that sort of area is good. And all we're doing there is calming our nervous system down. It was all excited while we're exercising. We want to calm that nervous system down. Helps us to get into our nice, relaxing recovery place where we can start to repair our body quicker. And while you're doing that as well, I might as well explain. This breathing is actually really fantastic. If you're ever feeling like anxious, nervous, if you're having a panic attack, all those sort of things. Often people say, just breathe it, you'll be fine. And it's how to breathe is the thing. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Start small, get yourself there. Eventually you'll get to a point where your nervous system calms down and you're able to think about what you're doing in a more rational manner rather than having those panic attacks or anxiety or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's a really good skill to transfer from the fitness and put it into some situations that you might be getting in the real world. So let's do another 2 there, nice big breaths. Okay, so let's do our neck mobility here to start off with. So we're just going to look down and then we're going to look up. Again, try not to get the stretch in here. We just want to get the neck moving. So don't worry about feeling the stretch through the neck. We just want to get it mobilized. Good work. As soon as you've done this for a while, I'll do the next sort of progression on how to do this properly. So if you could do this while keeping your sort of, giving yourself sort of a double chin, so tucking the chin in and doing this, what that does is allow you to sort of do it vertebrae by vertebrae rather than just having one that bends. So curling it in, you're almost like curling up like a snake out of a snake charmer kind of thing, like curling up out of it. That's kind of how it goes. So yeah, keeping that chin tucked in, which is harder to say than it sounds. Chin tucked in. Okay, so let's go on to the rotation now. So I'm just looking to one side and then to the other. Good. Like before, not necessarily getting the stretch, just getting the movement. All that time you've been on either your phone or watching TV or reading a book or doing a jigsaw or whatever it is you do, where our head stays still. This is just undoing that sort of keeping it still, which is excellent. That's what we want. Good. Okay. Let's go on to lateral flexion now. So it's just bringing it ear to shoulder. And again, don't worry too much about the stretch. You'll probably feel a stretch sooner on this one, just because there's more, well, bad English if I say more bigger. There are bigger muscles here that are affected on it, so you can sort of feel the stretch a little bit more here. But again, don't worry too much about the stretch, worry more about the movement. I know that I get stiff in this one, being a C7 quadriplegic. I've got some fixation in my neck, so it does get a little bit tighter here than would be ideal, but doing these sort of motions has really helped loosen up those ones that can work, and it really alleviates the pressure on the ones that are fixed in place. So just nice and gentle is all we need here. Okay, so let's move down into the rest of our spine, and we'll do the rest of those movements again, but we'll do it for the rest, for the T and the L part of our spine. So here we're going to do the extension and then flexion. And again, if you can't do it holding out forward, you can just sit back in your chair and turn a bit. Oh, there you go. Just go over the back and then down forwards, all the best you can. And if you have a backrest, it might be, a higher backrest, it might be a little bit more difficult. But whatever you can do is good. Even if it's just a small range of motion, that's better than nothing. So you may or may not have heard the phrase, motion is lotion. So moving is really good for our joints. So anytime we can get them moving is a positive, especially if they don't move that often. And sitting down a lot means that we're not moving often. Good. Let's go on to the rotation now. So you can either do this in one or two ways. You can either hold on and turn around, or you can sort of, if you can't grab or pull yourself around, you can sort of just give yourself a little bit of a momentum and sort of swing yourself a little bit. For some people, that momentum really helps. So you might be fine with grabbing and pulling yourself around. And here, sort of as long as the hips stay still and the shoulders are rotating round, that spine is going to get that rotation. So that's what we want there. Good. And then lastly on this one, we're going to do the lateral flexion. So reaching down to one side and then to the other. So I don't know if you guys see physiotherapists or any sort of people that give you any sort of stretching regime. If you do have one that you're meant to follow or stick to, or specific for yourself, now at the end of a session is a really good time to do it. Your body's nice and warm, and it means that you'll get better range of motion doing stuff. So if there is specific stretches that you need to do, at the end of an exercise is always the best time. You get much more benefit from being warm doing stretches than you are cold doing stretches. So if you do have those, feel free to do those. And at the end here, but we are done there for today, guys. Well done. We did that bit of the warm up, followed by the pole workout with the pyramid set, and then we did the ab workout, and then we followed it at the end there with that spinal and neck mobility work.